All right, everybody. Good afternoon. It's June 13th on a Tuesday. We got Father's Day upcoming this weekend. So I just want to wish all of you fathers out there and my own father just really wish the best of this weekend and having spending some time together. Hopefully talk a little bit of real estate and a little talk about potential new deals and try to find and procure new clients. So, as we wanted to spend some time today on covering some of the resources available to us, and I'll do a little bit tutorial on three different areas a new agent should set up. Just make sure that they have know what's available and kind of just efficient way to utilize the technology and the software that we use. So we're going to be covering number one is California Association of Realtors website, the National Association of Realtors website, and what it's good for. And then we'll also be covering a little more of a in-depth tutorial on CRMLS benefits, technology, and many of the different aspects that we can utilize. And I'll cover the most commonly used areas, the best resources we have to really just be more proficient in what we do. Sound fun? Sound fair? So I'll start on the simplest and the from our larger what's called our master organization, because this is the California Association of Realtors. And just so you newer realtors out there understand what the California Association of Realtors is for, this website here is really great. This is not only most of us use this for is simply just for zip forms. So we would access our forms and fill contracts out here. And the zip forms area is definitely is the most used important area of CAR. But don't forget there is many other sections and areas that you can learn from, that you can get industry analysis, you can get reports from. And for your purposes, it's really great to understand and being able to navigate this California website, car.org. We're also going to cover the NAR website, and they do have right here NAR. I'm going to click into that too as well. And when you are a member of our local board, it automatically will include your membership and dues payments towards the NAR and CAR master, the larger umbrella of network of realtors. Don't forget, when you pay your industry, your local dues, you get the benefit of using the words that you are a realtor. This is a nice thing because it's to demonstrate that you do follow the code of ethics. You do follow a lot of their areas of what we call professionalism, and we pay our dues, and we belong to a big industry that is the number one lobbying industry at Congress, at the White House. When I've been there, Washington, D.C., and whenever they have legislation and they're trying to put together and propose new bills, the realtor organization is one of the strongest representations in making sure that these bills don't impact housing or homeownership too much. So they definitely allow a lot of our directors and representatives in the industry to lobby and speak towards real estate hot issues, get our feedback when they're trying to put together a bill, and obviously increase taxation. And they try to find what are the areas and our input, how their legislation impacts our industry. So if you want to know about all of that stuff, that's under the advocacy. And when you talk and look into advocacy, this is where I learn about legislation and upcoming bills, national stuff. Okay. So right now they are fighting some federal issues regarding fair housing and rental housing issues, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. These are some things called articles that are keeping us up abreast. And so you can get your news. If you read a CAR or NAR news article, that's a verifiable source, a top source, what's called valid, to really make sure, because they have a lot of legal attorneys that help us really understand and phrase things in our articles to make sure that they are all consumer public friendly. Speaking towards CAR and NAR, I'll just let you know that there is sometimes in your annual bill, your local association is going to try to ask you to donate to the Realtor Action Fund. And I have one right in front of me. So the Realtor Action Fund is a statewide CAR fund where we're actually they're having a contest right now to have an office battle at the Arcadia Association of Realtors, in which you can donate, and basically all the money goes into fighting for our industry. And that's what you'll learn about if you were ever to go down into learning about RAF. So I do donate, especially when I was a director for the Arcadia Board. I was donating at the Silver Bear level, and they had different levels of donations, anywhere from $25, $30 to $500, $600 or more. Anyway, so that's advocacy and joining, various issues. You can learn about that. But I'm going to more talk about signing in. And honestly, the best things that you can find from here is, number one, is your login information, and making sure, because you'll have a realtor profile page. And so you can set up your own, when you're a member, you can set up your own realtor page, just so that you can be verified. You can add your photo, learn a little bit about more yourself, and describe how to contact you. So for me, I can manage my account and take a look at what it's like in this website. I'm not going to spend too much on NAR because it's actually pretty simple and not much we can do on the NAR site besides setting up our profile. Okay, but there is great resources in terms of research and statistics that I think are going to be very helpful and important to you. So just so you guys can see, that's my member ID. You'll see this in every single one of your publications or mail outs. You'll all have a reference member number. And this is also where you can complete your code of ethics training. And I need to do mine before December 31st, 2024. So I have a year and a half to finish code of ethics, and I can take some online free classes to get this done, because we have to do this every 4 years. And my last one was done in 2021, February. Okay. If you purchase or become certified, then NAR has a lot of designations and certifications for you to, helpfully just make yourself sound and look and have the knowledge of a professional. And so I'll speak towards NAR and what they do and provide regarding designations. A designation certification is kind of like a certificate that you are specialized in a specific area of expertise, kind of like how a doctor would specialize in they're general doctors, but sometimes they practice pediatrician, or they practice a gynecologist, or a plastic surgeon, or maybe they specialize in senior care or whatnot. So there's different types of doctors out there, and specialists tend to make more money because they are like a gastroenterologist, or a surgeon, or a specialist who does, specialize in the heart, cardiologist. So if you want to improve your game and your certification and experience and background, there is a bunch of different accreditation certificates that you can be a member of. One of them is good, is a buyer's representative. That's accredited designation to represent buyers well. A land consultant, ALC. This is one of the best ones, which is CCIM. That means you're a certified commercial investment member. It's very expensive to join this one, and you're going to look to spend probably close to $8,000 to $10,000 to complete all of the certifications. If you really wanted to invest in this, this is kind of like a graduate degree for commercial realtors. So I've taken some of these classes myself, but I didn't complete it. If you want to understand CIPS, this is an international property specialist, and they teach you about real estate around the globe. I'll tell you my recommendation ones are I'll get to them when I tell you. But if you want to be a property manager, then you can be certified in that aspect. Or if you want to be a brokerage manager, they can get certified. I don't see many of you wanting to do what I do. And certified residential specialist. This is just being an expert in residential real estate. Okay. But these are recognized accomplishments. So if you want to get certified, these are all areas where you can explore, take a course. They'll have some online versions of these courses. If you want to learn more about the green designation and knowing what makes a property more green, like solar energy, and knowing how green features benefit homes, these are there. And a graduate of the Realtor Institute just teaches all the standards and professional sales process needs to really what a realtor should know in terms of professionalism. Performance Management Network. I think this is a newer one, but I haven't really studied too much on this one. And certified executives. These are for people who run our organizations. You don't have to do this one at all. If you're not an appraiser, you don't need to know about the RAA. This is a seller representative specialist, which is just being a listing agent specialist, and so on. Since we have a lot of seniors out there, there's a senior real estate specialist, which tells you more about affordable places to live that are senior living, 55 plus type of communities, and what their requirements are, the safety needs, and this and this and that. So anyway, that's these are the designations available to you, as well as other types of family certifications like being knowledgeable about fair housing laws and diversity, being a broker price opinion accreditation. Okay, social media, ePro is just know that you're very tech savvy and you know how to market yourself and properties and whatnot. Okay, so there's a luxury home certification as well. Teaches you about the whole new industry, which is multi mansions, what estate sales are like, and the process you're going to be dealing with. Military people who are their pricing strategy. This is basically people who are skilled at doing a CMA, which is not that hard to do. I taught you guys already. And there's Rene, which is a real estate negotiation expert. This is always fun. I like being able to know how to negotiate well. So I think that's a good course as well. And so forth and so forth. Smart home is also new, just knowing what is the features that make a home labeled as smart. It needs to have 3 different aspects of smart features. And that's simply anything such as a smart thermostat, Wi-Fi connected. It could have smart controls like lighting or curtains and blinds that's smart that come up and down. And so if you have all these 3 of these X amount of features installed in your property, it's designated as, it could be labeled and marketed as a smart home. So if you want to know all those details, I've studied a lot of this stuff, but again, I didn't complete all the courses, okay? Because I've done some of these, but they also take, it's nice to have, it's a pro, it definitely is great to share in your signature and have it on your resume, but some of these also do take annual fees to keep yourself current as a member of these and they do provide resources and knowledge and value, emails and all this stuff. But to keep at your designation, this sometimes is a maintenance fee to maintain it. Okay. Now, it's okay if you don't want to do any of the paid stuff. Don't forget there is C2EX, which I actually do encourage you to do because it's always great to refresh your knowledge. And I already partially finished my C2EX class training. It's basically all inclusive. I know all the stuff about being a realtor, and this is a commitment to your excellence. So you could take this free class. It satisfies the code of ethics training requirement. So I'll probably do this for my code of ethics as well. And what this does, it just tells this is an award-winning platform, and it just teaches you all the stuff you need to know about being a realtor, compliance, and whatnot. So if you want to take this one, I know this class is free. So I've taken mine, and I'm more than halfway done, and that's for education. Okay. Now, don't forget, guys, when you pay, you have to your every 4 years you renew your like real estate license. You're gonna need to take continuing education, and if you're doing it in California, like we are, we're regulated by the Department of Consumer Affairs and the Bureau of Real Estate, and from here, these are the renewal requirements for continuing education. We get free 45 hours of approved continuing education through CAR. So I'll show you that area just so you know that you can mark it down when you have to do your renewal. You can go to the CAR website, and I'll show you right here. And I think I can just type in the search box, continuing education, and it'll tell you and point you into let me just type in 45 hours. And I think that's right here. This free 45-hour package for CAR members, you can log in and claim a free online education to get your license renewed every year. So you don't have to pay these extra companies to get yourself renewed. You could do it for free straight from the CAR website, and then they'll email you your certificates when you finish it. And don't forget, in 2023 and beyond, now there's a renewal to take implicit bias and interactive fair housing courses as part of their 45 hours. So this is something that's newer for us to make sure we know about not being biased against certain people or races or types, and knowing a little bit more about discrimination, because that's where they have fear of lawsuits, litigation, and discrimination. Okay. So that's a benefit of license renewal. So I'm giving you guys an overview on some cool stuff. Any questions from anyone right now? And I see Julia and Jean joined us. Today we're covering a little bit about these, where to get ourselves and make sure we're utilizing our CAR NAR website as well as CRMLS.
So
Thanks for
Kelvin, earlier you mentioned the thing is new. What is that? I just missed it.
Two types of courses in your 45-hour continuing education. One of them is fair housing, and one of them is implicit bias training.
One is housing, and one is what?
Implicit bias. Don't worry, it'll automatically be put into your code of ethics training. You're gonna have to read about it, learn it, and then just answer the questions regarding, don't have any biases. You treat each customer fairly, and if you have that approach and mindset and attitude when you're doing business, you'll be fine.
Is it this is mandatory?
Mandatory for your next renewal.
For the next renewable, I see. Okay.
So going back to NAR's website, Lan was asking what's the value here, and what's the benefits, and what should I utilize? So just make sure all of your information is correct. My primary association is Arcadia, state is California, and you know, they'll assign and you could do some different things regarding your website and account. So if I wanted to change my profile, I can do that all here. So my primary field is residential sales, and I added sales and management, but maybe I want to also include commercial real estate, or I wanted to change my specialties. So I'm gonna pick something that's more lucrative. Um, I'll do general commercial sales and leasing. And then I'm also into, these are what I am specializing in. I'm a business owner operator. And I am also, what else can I do?
Notary.
I am a notary, but I don't want to advertise that on Realtor because I can only do stuff in California. So this is the national website. So I'll pick I can do whatever. Real estate specialist. I guess I'm pretty good at investment properties. All right. So I'm going to save my changes. You can do exactly the same when you log into your account. And you'll also have a profile page where you can put in certain things. Okay. Okay. So everything looks good for me. When you're going into your website, just make sure that you go ahead and update your profile the way you want it to be. Because I'm going to show you what it looks like after I save this. So if I go to realtor.com, where they also will label all of the homes you have available on, for example, if someone's looking at Arcadia, California, and they want to buy a home, okay, there's a search bar in here. And they can find Arcadia properties syndicated from our CRMLS. And so I'm in here. I'm searching Arcadia. And these are all the new listings and pending listings and blah, 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 blah. So don't forget, you can see here, for example, there's a property here on Coronado by Bay One Realty. And many people don't update their realtor profile. Okay. So for example, what do I mean? So then it's going to have a listed by information. So this is listed by, and it has this contact number, right? This agent, I don't think, set up her account. So Ting Gao is here. They do have their a phone number and Ting this and this and that. But if you look at Ting Gao's NAR website, I'll try to pull it up for you. it's probably not going to show very much. Okay. So Teen Gal has a generic backdrop. It just has her basic information, nothing in here, no ratings, no bio, no picture, just the office, nothing, right? So you can tell she's not very accessible, or you can't find her. But if I find a realtor here, let's just say I want to look at the top realtors of Temple City, California. Okay. There's going to be a couple of different people who pop up. There's some people over here. There's a Jerry, a Richard, a Cody, Yenis, and Grace. You see how all of the people who are top realtors, they put their photo information in. Okay. And these are all people and people that I see and whatnot. So the top realtors are accessible. You can find them and whatnot. See? Okay. So for my sake, I'll just type in my name. And I have the company out there. I actually have ratings. I have 18 years of experience. I don't know why it says I speak Spanish, but so I recommend you update yours, label your areas served, because if you don't update your profile, and someone's looking at San Gabriel, I will at least show up in the maybe top 2 pages of San Gabriel, or top 3 pages if someone's searching for that area. And so I just need to revise this languages because I don't speak Spanish that well. So let's see how I can get this fixed.
So, Kevin, this training is can find it in the YouTube recording, right?
I will post this, yes. Okay.
Uh, thank you.
Okay. So I'm curious where they pulled my recommend my 5 stars here. So if you are a realtor, you could set up your own profile. So I got my access in, I set up my profile. Oh, I hope they didn't make me as a. Okay, make sure you're doing it as an agent profile, not as what I just did right now. I hate having all these subscriptions. So I always opt out of all of that stuff. All right, so again, I'm going back to here now. So that's why you want to have your profile set up, because you want to be able to be found. All right. Now, don't forget, when you're a realtor, you have other benefits. Okay. So what are your benefits? Just to let you know, you could take you will have you can get a .realtor website and a .real estate domain and email address. So this is the free realtor.com profile. So if you wanted to get your profile, what I just showed you, then it's all here. All new agent profiles can be found here. And if I want to do this, I should do some sort of power up your profile button is what they want. Set up your password and you'll be able to create your profile account just like the one I just showed you. Okay. And then go through the tutorials and learn about
Okay.
it, because an empty profile is going to look like what I just showed you. Ting had one, and then you can have a fully customizable once you just claim your free account. It'll look like this. Okay. So, and then there's probably free trainings that you can take. Now, the other benefits that you can have from here. Let me go back to the NAR website. One of the cool benefits from here was also your domain name. And so if you want to have a free email address or a domain name, which is basically what you could use for a website, then you can also get that through them. But if you cancel your membership, you're going to lose it. Don't forget. Okay. So that if you want to learn about a .realtor, let's say I want to have Kelvin Chang .realtor as a domain name. I can get this for free. Okay. So then on my business card and all of my stuff, I can say, oh yeah, just you want to find me, just go to my website, kelvinchang.realtor.com. It's not even a .com. It's kelvinchang.realtor. Okay. And then you can just build your own website features. It's a free website with templated stuff. And in minutes, you have a website custom built for you. Okay. It's not hard to do this. So if you guys want to have a free custom website without paying a dime, it's not going to be .com. It's going to be called whatever your name, kelvinchang.realtor. Okay. So maybe since my name is available, maybe I'll show you and I'll do it today because it shouldn't be that hard. So let's. Okay.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since I will have coming up listing agreement, listing, okay, in Temecula. So I would like to know, is it right now all the rental increase will be okay, right? If they have signed the rent cap.
Well, you said you're gonna sign up a lease. If you're gonna have a new lease prepared, yes, you want to have the RCJC rent cap and just cause addendum inside the new
And
lease
after
agreement.
12 months can be increased rent, right?
You can increase rent. Well, it all depends on if the city or local rules. Assuming there's no local rules, you can raise the rent to anything you want, as long as there's no rent control, there's local regulations, and that the single property is exempt.
Right now, for me to know, the one will coming soon is in Riverside, Temecula.
Okay.
So yeah, because I need to know this information and talk to the client, and so how can we check it out? Like which city? Because so far, from my understanding, is all the city got rank cap, got rank control, right?
Every property in California is subject to rent control unless they're exempt.
Uh-huh.
And then if you use the RCJC form and you're doing a single unit, you are exempted if you check the box.
Uh-huh. So is it any website can have more detailed information about the rent increase
Yes, I'll show you
for
now.
uh
I'm about ready to get
okay.
into the CAR website training. And so we are now at the
Okay.
California level. So California has resources to us because we're not going to find it on national because they don't care about us each state, but California cares about each county. So then I just type in rent control. It's a
Uh-huh.
California website search, and these are the list of cities after you log in that have
Mm-hmm.
an ordinance for rent control. This is separate from the statewide rent control. So each of these specific cities have an ordinance or rent control in place. And if you're in Riverside County, I don't see Temecula and I don't see Riverside. So there's no special local rent control. So you're falling under the umbrella of statewide. But if you're doing a single property, it's exempt. So then you can just do market rent.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, so how can I let me see.
This is a
So
resource. You said you want the website. So if I'm
yeah.
selling a property in Los Angeles or renting a rental in Los Angeles, I definitely need to read all about the LA Housing Department's resources regarding what is the rent control in place. Okay, rental property owners, and then they're going to give you resources here. Okay, and they'll
Yes.
teach you your owning or managing, or here's the rules, and they're going to give you frequently asked questions, and they're going to tell you, um, what's your market rent, or what are you planning to do with it, or are you trying to evict a tenant or not. So you do have to check locally in all of these specific cities, which is not many.
Okay, hold on, Kevin. So this website right now, you show it to me. We just log in into the uh
CAR.
into CAR, right?
Yep.
And then we just tie up where we can tie up the rent control.
Search right here.
Where I can just see where.
Right here, my mouse is pushing search.
Let me see, search. Oh, okay. I saw your mouse. Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
I've already
Got it.
taught this on the web on as well. I have anyway. So that's rent control issues.
Okay.
And so all you got to do is exempt yourself so you don't have to follow all of the statewide rules. Just to make sure it's a single property and it's a legally exempted property. And if you don't know what a legally exempted property is, it's a single unit. It could be a condo, a townhouse, a single family, a PUD. Those are all single units, are all not subject to statewide rent control. If you check the box, provide a disclaimer, disclosure to the tenant.
I see.
If you live in a triplex, a quadplex, then those properties are subject to statewide rent control unless there's a one special situation. It's a duplex where the owner lives in one of the units. That's a special exemption too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
If you don't follow the exemption rules, then everything else is subject to statewide rent control. 5-unit, 6-unit apartment buildings, they're all subject to it. Okay.
Wow. So that means they cannot increase rent at all
They can.
if they have
If you read the Tenant Protection Act, the legal limits is you can raise it twice a year maximum within 5% CPI plus whatever the CPI for the year is. So it could be 7 to 9% typically.
Uh-huh.
All right. That's the
Yep.
legal, that's the constraint per annum per year.
Okay, got it.
Now,
Okay.
when you go to the California Association of Realtors, don't forget your membership includes this as well. And it's always nice for you to go to your own account settings just to make sure the information is correct. Okay. I put my profile, I put my own little description, my website, and if you wanted to, you could link your social media. And then these are my login information, my address, phone numbers, and this and that. Okay. But I like it because you can also add in your languages as well. So let's just say I do speak Chinese, Mandarin a little bit, so I can add that in. And um, I want my realtor magazine at my office, and I would like to show my profile. So if you want to show it, make sure you get this stuff and you just double check all your information. Okay. So once you're ready, then I'm just go ahead and push save. And then if you want to see what your California Association of Realtors looks like, then I can show you right here. So they can see that my name, office, about you, and what your specialties, languages, and cities that you serve. Okay. So those are what I put in there. And let's just say I wanted to edit something. It's not that hard. So I can just go back into here and edit my account. And I do speak English, so I should probably put that in. But they didn't, there's no E. Okay, so it's not allowable. All right, so I'm adding in my stuff that I want to say that I do. And technically speaking, I can serve. Let's see what's the maximum number of areas I can serve. So I'll pick the areas that I want to work in. I do want to work Bradbury, for example. I would love to work um the Diamond Bar, East LA. I grew up around there. And I like Glendale a lot. It's very expensive. Glendora is nice. Hacienda Heights is nice. Um, La Cañada and La Crescenta definitely have high-end areas. I would love to work listings there. And so I'm picking, obviously, I want to do more higher end areas. I don't know about you guys. South Pasadena is good. And so it's been a while. Sierra Madre is good. South Pasadena here. I'll do West Covina. And now I'm ready to save. Okay, so now I can go into here, preview my public profile. Make sure to do this on your own as well. So now I added all these extra areas that didn't pop in. So there is maybe it takes some time to refresh too. So we'll wait till later on and I'll double check on it to make sure because it takes time to update a website. Other than that, going back to CAR's website, I want to make sure you guys are well aware, besides the forms, which is go right here. One of the best benefits too that I utilize often is the legal hotline. Okay. Agents, you would call this number. Brokers like myself, I call this number. It's just for me, it's as I can get access a little bit faster, and they help the broker owners on legal issues, and it's a dedicated line for managers. Call anytime, 9 to 6 p.m., and you can get resources such as any questions you have. You can submit questions. For example, like Gene says a question. Can I need to explain the rent cap? I don't understand. I have a single house that I want to, is it exempt or not exempt? You'll be able to just write a question or description of your questions and then send it over an email, and they can answer your questions from an attorney. Okay, these could be legal questions, forms questions, negotiation or procedural questions. Hey, that client is not signing the stuff back. That they don't want to provide this form. What should we do? Use this resource because it's absolutely free. So if you ever submit a legal question, I just type it in, this, what's my inquiry about? Is it advertising? It could be something, is it legal for me to give a $500 commission to my client? Is $1,000 allowed? If you want to ask those questions, they have an attorney that knows the rules and laws regarding referral fees. Okay, so then I say it's a referral fee question, and I want to know, I am a sales agent. Reach me, call me back. What's your question? Can I give my own client who refers me every twice a year referral fees, and then hear the understanding, the law, right?
Thank you.
So a lot of you guys rely on me because I'm experienced enough and I know this law, and I probably asked a lot of these questions myself a lot. But what you guys don't know is when I don't know something, then this is one of my resources. Sometimes I'll reach out to a real attorney that I know locally, or I'll use the car attorney to ask a question, and I get some sort of basic understanding. But most of the time, I'm pretty much very confident in on the guidance that I give you. And when I don't, I'll tell you. I need to verify. I need to go double check something. Okay. So again, you guys have the ability to reach out and utilize your member benefit. Okay. Now, besides the legal hotline, I really like the research areas inside CAR's website. Okay, here you can get your renewal license and the free 45 hours. We talked about designations and certifications, but you can get them through California, a local association who teaches them. And you'll be able to find courses maybe live, which you'll probably learn better when you're live. And if you want to know the calendar of classes, there's a lot of good courses coming out. So when it says Learn My Way webinar, you're really with a live instructor. It's just you're like kind of like on Zoom, like this, and the person's talking to you and teaching you. So if you want to know any of these classes, negotiation basics, sure, I'd love to know about negotiation. I want to take the advanced course on June 8th. It's a 4-hour class. I register for it. And why not improve your knowledge? Okay. So why is it doing this? Let's see here. I got to check the link. And then you could check the link to find some of these other catalog of courses. So this is property management, GRI, so Graduate Realtor Institute. So assuming you wanted to watch some of those classes, you just go ahead and I'm trying to load it up real quick because some of them are going to charge you a fee. But the car members, they give you like a small discount, like $10 or 10% off. Okay. But sometimes they'll throw these out, they'll have them for free. So Learn My Way is live at home classes. And I think you can even search some classes. You can search by what's free if you wanted to. Okay. So Learn My Way. If I wanted to do a whole bundle of property management analysis type of class, it's $175 for this week-long course. But if I just wanted a one-time class, they usually range around $75 plus. Hey, I want to know about tax, and you can take a tax course for $150. But this is just showing you what's available. It doesn't mean you have to do it. But I do think if you wanted to, there is some. For example, I take these car new and revised certified forms. Sometimes I take those classes because I want to know all the new forms. And I've taken the certified residential purchase agreement course because I teach the contracts myself. So I need to be sharp every renewal. I take my own renewal. This is money making strategies. This is another expensive class. So anyway, I don't, it's up to you, but I'm just showing you that there is also on-demand classes that are free, that are pre-recorded. So if you wanted to go there, there's some pre-recorded here and books as well. Okay, anyway, that's that. I'll go over what other cool things that's gonna be helpful to some of you guys. I like this housing market forecast and data and statistics area. So, for example, data and statistics. Every month, you can get some sales and price statistics by county and by area. And what's cool is there's slides. This last one was April. And you can go through, I'll show you what the slides look like. But this is all of California. This is Southern California region. Home sales have dropped by 37%. Okay. And Central is 42%. Okay. So these are all statewide stuff up there. And you have to really just find what you're looking for. But down here, you can just go by the actual area. So if I want to look in well, we're Los Angeles Metro, or we're in called Southern California. This is probably our best area. In Southern California, it comprises of LA, Orange, Riverside, San Bernardino, San Diego, and Ventura. So for LA County, month to month, price change is up 2.8%. Year over year, it's down 8%. And our number of sales have dropped in terms of volume by 37%. But our median home price is, as of April 2023, our median sales price is $738,000 for LA County. This is just if you want to get statistics out or you want to share anything in specific. And then I like to go through the Industry 360 forecasts because they're going to let you know what kind of they give you PowerPoints, and they have a podcast that talks about what are the what's to expect for the next year. And both Oscar Way and Jordan Levine are great economists who have some very, very knowledgeable content when you hear them speak. So every October, I listen to his forecast. That he does it every year in October. Okay. Now, the other cool thing to check out is the podcast, because this is where you can just hear great economists talking about housing. But and then you can get market stats statistics here. But what's cool is also the speeches. Okay. So When they speak, you can download these market updates from Oscar and Jordan. They have PDF versions of their and PowerPoint versions that you can keep and pull it to yourself. Okay. So you can use these as your own real estate economics. If I wanted to take a look at this PDF, I can get it downloaded for free and I'll have it at my fingertips. So this one was done a month ago or right April 18th. And since I'm an economics major, I just clicked on this one and it's kind of talking to you about how when you have low inventory, then the quantity moves this way. The supply of inventory is short. This is called the Keynesian cross. And this new equilibrium point means that prices go up when you have low inventory going to the left. So a shift in supply, which we're dealing with right now, a low supply, is causing and keeping high prices in our marketplace. Okay. And we can kind of see the population of owners to renters ratio. In 2020, it's about right now at 80.2 population is owners, and about half of that is about renters. Okay, so just cool stuff. Some slides to sound really smart and cool when you're doing a presentation. Now, the other things that you should kind of know knowledge about is your statistics. And these are all shareable reports. So if you want shareable reports, all of these stuff you can give out, download, and put it in your own email, or you can put it on your own postcards. Okay. And if you wanted to do marketing, there is a marketing section as well. For new members, just watch the frequently asked questions. You can kind of understand. I mean, how many of you guys like using social media? Because if you do, they have all these new emojis and stuff that you can put into photos. Um, but these are all of the frequently asked questions so you can understand what's going on in how to utilize our benefits better. So it tells you the difference and the reasons why there's a local, state, and national association. What are the licensing rules and how to file a complaint, how to use e-licensing. All this stuff is already here for you as a new agent. You should read through all of this stuff so you can understand the benefits to your membership. And let's go down into the safety tips, fair housing laws. These are where we don't want to violate anything regarding race or protected classes or discrimination, gender, disability, even the source or type of income is in California a now protected class. Any questions? So I'll wrap this part up. I do like, for those of you who, because I used to be the board of directors for about 8 years with CAR. And so I know quite a bit about being involved in the board of directors. And you can see all of the upcoming agenda items. As a member, you have the right to listen in at these meetings as long as it's not a closed meeting. And you could kind of just, you don't have a vote or a voice, but you can listen if you're a non-director. But the important area here is to understand what is the action items and what's on the upcoming agenda. So if I were to take a look, I can tell you in spring of 2023, the most recent one, they met in May 4th, which is last month. And then I can see what is going on here. And the most interesting stuff I'll just tell you is the environmentally CAR is opposed to AB 460 and AB Assembly Bill 1337. These are just all the legislation that's going on in our state. And I can tell you water is a big issue because Southern California has none of the water. Northern California controls it all. And home ownership housing. We do a Assembly Bill 1333 that prohibits new subdivisions from conducting bulk sales. Stuff like that. There's people, all this stuff is going on. Then, if I want to know what's going on in each committee, I can understand what's going on in the legislative committee and why they are voting a certain way or taking a position on a certain stance. And anyway, there's all this stuff in here. I actually know quite a bit of these people because I've worked with a lot of them. So I know everyone from Kevin Brown, I know Otto, I know Susie and Heather. These are all well involved car directors. And I've worked with Larry Black and Tom Berge here's in West End Gable Board and Sue Walsh, I know. So there's a lot of cool stuff that I had a good experience of understanding the financials, where our realtor money goes towards and whatnot. Now, if you wanted to check the other stuff in here, so zip forms is very important, but what's also cool is it tells you a little bit about forms advisor teaches you what are the advice that you should know about each form and why we should use them. So when you get into your transactions, just know that you get secure storage with I think 3 years for all of your files. The forms tutor will teach you if you want to go through any specific transaction. It asks you questions and it tells you what disclosures you need, like what's the age of your property? Are you representing which side? What is the type of structure, and then it'll tell you what forms you will need for that specific transaction. But for most of you, I would tell you to do just take a look at what I've shown you already. That's pretty much the majority of what you need to know from this website. Okay. If you want to get a grant or take classes, you can always apply for education and they'll pay for half of your classes or give you a scholarship. So you can apply for scholarships. And every year there's a lot of money they give to anyone who wants to apply. Usually there's not many people applying. But if you wanted to do CCIM, $10,000 is too much to you, you can apply for a scholarship for it. Okay. If you tell them a reason why, you give them an argument or a reason that you don't have the money for it. I'm pretty sure they'll try to honor as many scholars as they can every year. Okay. All right, so that's most of what you're gonna learn from the CAR website. Besides zip forms, because I don't have time to cover zip forms, and they do classes on that all the time. I'm gonna show you a little bit about CRMLS real quick. Any questions?
No.
Okay. So today we're covering CRMLS on some of the how a newer agent can kind of get acclimated into using this MLS benefits. First of all, I'm going to tell you what's the most important areas. Yes, this button right here, CRMLS, gets you into the system. But out of here, we actually had the CEO of CRMLS in our office last week teaching us about the top most used features and products. And he told us The most commonly used area is InfoSparks, has the best resources regarding data and putting together really accurate details regarding zip code or school district or cities, and I can aggregate the data exactly to the area I want to pinpoint. This is for research and data. The other area used the most besides car website is Cloud CMA, because Cloud CMA is a really beautiful designed CMA. I'll show you one right now. So when you log into Cloud CMA, for example, I just did one right here on Roland Heights. Okay. I met the owner, gave him an opinion and a value, and conducted a CMA using my MLS software. And for this client, you get to give them a report. I did this one just 3 weeks ago, and I could write a letter to the client about what the CMA is all about and what's inside. Then I give them my resume, which tells them about my experience and my awards and volunteerism. Then this property is right here in the purple, and I provided 11 comps surrounding this subject property. And I picked out 9 solds, 2 actives, all ranging from 750 to 899. And out of the summary of them, the solds sold for this price. They all were around that 1,1600 square feet. And on average, 513 a square foot is this section of town in Roland Heights. And so I was recommending somewhere near average as well. And the active listings are asking slightly higher at 533, but there's only two statistics, 2 data points in here. So that's skewed heavily to this 558 one. And then I can show the photos. This is the data of what really closed and how long it took to sell it, 93 months. Okay, so this gives the seller quite a bit of information. It can compare, wow, this listing looks so beautiful and the interior is so nice, and her property was not as good at this. And that's why I'm telling them, that's why you're not selling it for 560 a square foot. I'm pricing yours closer towards the average of 513. Okay. And oh yeah, this beautiful home is recently renovated and remodeled, and your home is not anything like this. That's why I'm not gonna be, this one sold at 500 a square foot, and it took them 141 days. Okay. That's why you can't be too greedy and pricing your property too high. Maybe we should price it under 500 square foot. Don't tell me. Do you want to be on the market for 4 months? You don't want to. I don't want to. Okay, then let's price it at 490. How about that? Okay. So these are great ways because their property was nowhere near this shape. All right. Okay, this one sold at 537 a square foot, and it still took them 61 days. And this is a beautiful kitchen, custom remodel. So this is how you can educate your clients. Don't be too greedy, because even a beautiful remodeled home like this took them 2 months to sell, right? Okay, if you don't believe me, go take a look, drive by. This is the market speaking for itself. And that's why your home is closer to this condition. Okay. And that's why they sold it at 434 a square foot. Okay. So I have that kind of conversation. I don't do it in a mean way. I make them tell me, is this home? I actually, the way I phrase it, it says, is your home have this type of original cabinets? And they're gonna go, yes. Oh, is it your home this cluttered? Yes. Do you have a pool? No. And then I tell them, okay, well then they sold at 434 a square foot. Let's try to get a little bit better than them. Let's price it at 450. How about that? There's some things in here that you can use to your talking advantage. Again, you're the one who's picking the comps. So I pick these comps to show stuff that's like hers, and I wanted to show comps that are above her condition so that I can let them know comparatively you don't have what this 497 a square foot property home has. Very nice curb appeal, nice yard, but less interior wise. It looks just very clean and maintained, but it's very open, high ceilings. Do you see these skylights? That's an added feature. You see these recessed lightings? You don't have that. You see this open kitchen to the family room. There are aspects that people will pay more money for something more modern like this, and they spend 552 for this one, but you don't have half as much of the stuff that's in here. Okay. So I showed them these nice, beautiful comps to let them know they can expect the same pricing. Okay. So that's how I have my discussion. And I use Cloud CMA all the time for all my CMAs. Okay. All right. Any questions? Cool. Now, Info Sparks is great because for that same property that we were looking in, what zip code is this? 91748. I can go into here. And if I can go into Info Sparks, I'm going to show you the benefit of this real quick. I want to know all properties that are residential, single family homes only. And I want to know everything that's roughly in my bedroom, which was square footage size, which was in the, I can't remember. It was in the 1,000 to 2,000 range. All right, let's look at all of these with a smaller lot size. And then I can comparatively use Roland Heights. And I can even compare it to something, for example, right next door is Hacienda Heights. Okay. Now, what is that? What am I just doing right now? I don't know. Do you guys see my info sparks? What am I doing? Well, I have a blue line representing 91748. I have a red line matching that. This red and blue basically are going over each other. The red line is Roland Heights City, and then the green line represents Hacienda Heights. From the last 3 years or 5 years, I can pick. I'll just do 5 years just to give you a little trend line. That for the most part, Roland Heights is greater value than Hacienda Heights. But that's strange. This is median sales price. Is that true? Well, let's go to the averages. And the averages is different from median for the purposes that you should know. So yes, Roland Heights is stronger values than Hacienda Heights. Year over year, I'm seeing it consistently being the same. Okay. Now, how about that? That's only the sales price. What about price per square foot? I like to use averages again. I don't like to use median, but the average price per square is 513 for Roland Heights, and it's 483 only for this last month. But if you go back in any specific month, like right here, technically speaking, Hacienda Heights was higher in the month of January. So if you take it for what it's worth, because the counts are important. How many sales are in that month? That's really dependent. So one sale could sway it one way or the other. How about how much demand? Well, let's take a look at how much time it takes. Demand is a measure of days on market. And I can tell you, on average, it's right now taking a month to sell a property. It used to take a little bit longer, but now because there's tight inventory, things are selling quickly. But in past months, it was slightly higher in certain time periods of time, especially during this 2020, and all of a sudden we had a housing shortage, and everything was closing in 14 to 28 days very quickly. Then I want to see how many of these properties are closing percent of original asking price. This is interesting. Right now, properties in Roland Heights are selling above asking, and properties in Hacienda are slightly under asking price. Okay. And so that tells you how hot a certain city is. If you look at areas, I'll tell you, look, if I compare Glendale, and I'm going to show you how Glendale is quite on fire recently. So let's just pick all properties that are single family residential. Great. So you can see in terms of sales price averages, Glendale has been steadily rising up, especially up recently in pricing. You see it's soaring. People are going way over asking. Percent of original price. People are paying on average 102% or 103% over asking price. This is across the board. And how much is it per square foot? Well, you can see it's remaining above 800 a square footish on the and how many active listings do they have? Low inventory. I can tell you it's low inventory. Look how boom, ever since January of 22, this whole year and a half, they're keeping only 30 to 30, 40 listings at all times. It's less than 40 at all times. It's all the listings are selling there. Okay. So imagine if you just study the cities that you work. Okay. And for my purposes, maybe I study Alhambra, Pasadena, San Marino, Arcadia, Temple City, whatever I want to focus on. I just study my areas and I can tell you where opportunities are. I can tell you where I should invest more time into getting listings. Getting listings in Glendale is a great idea, guys. And you go where the hot demand is at, right? Things will sell like hotcakes anywhere in Glendale, La Crescenta, and that's largely due to the school district. Okay. So just giving you an idea of how to use InfoSparks, and you can do it by zip code, you can do it by school district, you can do it by county. There's a lot of cool features, and I can put more than just 2 bars. I can put 5 bars if I wanted to at once. It just gets very messy when I put 5 cities in here. Okay. Now, other than that, I use Rent Spree for my renters taking applications. I use Realist Tax for county data on every single parcel that has an APN number or an owner's address. I can find a lot of great information in here. If you're into marketing, HomeSnap Pro is really strong at marketing your listings everywhere. And New Home Source and the Builders Update is where I find new construction properties. I can download floor plans. I can get new construction communities anywhere by search by county. And I love selling new construction because the homes are brand new. There's usually not much anything wrong with it. And I don't have to negotiate anything. I just take my client, register them at the front desk, and then their first time going, and I can collect a 2 to 3% commission from them, from the builder, if we go into a contract. Okay. So I'm just teaching you a little bit about that. Supra is where you can manage your access to your lockbox and just giving you an overview of what to find information. And sometimes when I cannot get information for properties, and for example, our MLS has no access to Santa Barbara. We have no access to Big Bear listings unless they're listed in CRMLS. But these particular associations tend to have what's called private data. They do not share or data share with other MLSs. So if I needed to find a property in Big Bear or in Santa Barbara, I can just go into RPR and I can find some more information about the listing agent, contact info, and I can call to see how much commission they're going to share with me because I won't find that in the MLS. Okay. So let's just say I'm looking in Santa Barbara, California. And I'm looking for sales only, for sale, single family. I just want for sale only. Okay. Active homes and closed sales. And I want only properties in residential, but why is it not giving me residential? I just put all. Oh, because I'm under commercial. Duh. Now I put it into residential and I'm going to select only single families. And I want the closed sales too. So some people are wondering, Kelvin, my MLS doesn't give me access and I have a new listing in Big Bear or Santa Barbara. How do I do my CMA? How do I find properties? How do I find comparables? This is how. All right. So obviously, if I'm not looking at like $22 million properties. I'll probably have to filter them down. And maybe I want to filter by lot size or by maximum by square footage. So I'll just do all the square footages of 1400 to 1900. It's a 3 or 4 bedroom. So I'm only looking at 2 to 5 bedrooms. And the lot size has to be 6,000 to 10,000 only is what I'm keeping my constraints on because that's my subject property. So if I'm doing that, I'll update it and here's my comps. I'll pick these 10, narrow it down, and I can tell you in Santa Barbara, I mean, this is a high-end area. Everything is 1.3 to $2 million. Okay. They're selling at 1,900 a square foot. Okay. So this is also a very beautiful place to have as a marketplace if you're working in this area. And there's a reason why they don't want a data share. It's because they don't want to give this information out. They want to keep it sales within Santa Barbara agents, right? And that's fine. If that's what their association wants to do, that's what they want to do. But I can get you the comps. I have the actives, I have the closed. If I wanted the pendings, I can get those too. I can get information on open house. And for example, let's say my client is interested in buying this property. Okay. And because they don't data share, I have to now go into here. I have to, if I wanted to sell this property, I could sell it based on its photos. Yeah, it looks beautiful. You can have a remodeled property. It's got nice built-ins. It's very original bag kitchen. So you're gonna have to spend a little money in upgrading that, remodeling it in the future. But overall, it's a very well-maintained character property. I love it. I support you, buyer, if you want to buy it. But the buyer's going to say, okay, well, how do we start? It starts with you picking up your phone because you're not going to get a promise of commission or anything like that based on this website or on the MLS. You're going to have to pick up your phone and call the listing agent, get the information, the 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 preferences, the private remarks that the listing agent wants, and you pick up the phone and you negotiate and do what you're supposed to do, which is make phone calls and communicate and represent your client. All right. So here's the listing detail. This is the listing ID and lockbox. It's vacant. It's exclusively represented by them with the Santa Barbara MLS. This is the MLS number. This is the agent phone number that I will call. And You can see here, there's no commission in here. So I got to find that out. Okay. And then Kelvin, can't you just go into the listing ID and find out through the MLS from the past year? Yes, now we finally can. So I can type in the listing ID and I can go into these syndicated websites and find out the commission now. So this happens to be, what property is this? Just to make sure. 2975 Calle Noguera. So 297 Calle Noguera. Let's go to Trulia. It's for sale. Now look over here under commission, 2.5%. See that? Okay. So that's how you now even the public can figure out the commission. But you also got to get the private showing instructions. Okay. You can even go to our Coldwell Banker, our newly designed Coldwell Banker site. Notice how no other firm is able to get that first page on Google results. Coldwell Banker can. Out of all of the results, just by putting the listing ID, look what pops up. Okay. It's a Coldwell Banker. That's the power of our brand, is we have one of the best websites. So you can see it's active for sale. Coldwell Banker's website looks like this, and it has the layout, the school districts, tax information, similar comps. Got it? So I hope you guys learned some value today regarding this. Coldwell Banker at this moment is not sharing the commission portion. So so you're gonna go to the other third-party sites if you're looking for commission portion. All right. Well, we took about an hour and a half today. Thanks all of you guys for staying for so long. Any questions on anything I just covered today regarding the best features and resources available to us from CAR, NAR, and CRMLS?
Hi, Kevin. First you said realtor.com, then later is RPL. So they are same or different?
Very similar. Realtor.com is going to be what the public can see. So just imagine everything that's on Realtor.com is consumer facing. RPR is designed for agents, and to agents, I got the listing agent's information. I have their email address, and I have the vacancy, the occupancy. So that's different. You're not going to see this on RPR. When I went to, you're not going to see it on Realtor.com. Here, I'll show you again what RPR looks like. You can do all this cool features like trends in this area is telling you that this is a strong seller's market in this area. I can quickly become an expert in, I don't know Santa Barbara, guys, but I can tell you that things are selling above asking. This is truly a seller's market because there's not much inventory, only 1.8% months of inventory. And then I look at the number of listings and properties. I can kind of look at, this is all quick information to make me sound smart on Santa Barbara if I had to convince a buyer or seller that I know the area. And then they give you a value, just like all the other websites will give you a value. They say this property is about 1.879 million. I can do a CMA from this section of town and allow RPR to build its own CMA for us. Okay. So to me, it's RPR is better than Realtor.com.
So both we need to register, right?
RPR is free with your membership. It's included.
Oh, so we just go to NAR, the website?
No, you click right here, RPR,
Oh,
CRMLS.
okay,
This is your CRMLS.
Okay.
It's built in.
okay.
Okay. But I'm just telling you it's better because I know there's a section on the listing information. So I could see the open house dates, listing information, and I can see right here, showing instructions, lockbox, vacant. Okay. If it says occupied or tenant occupied, then I know that gives me more help. Then realtor.com won't give you any of this. Okay.
Okay.
So that's how we search properties outside our area. I covered a lot today, but I wanted to, that was the purpose. It was just to kind of point you in the right direction of resources available to us that I know you guys don't even take advantage of. And these are resources, at least if you know it's available to you, you can play around with it when you need it. It's kind of like having, your whole arsenal of tools at your belt. Know all of your tools, right? Okay, that's enough for today. End today's meeting, and thank you guys. Appreciate you all sticking around to the end. And if you have topics you want me to cover for next training, just let me know. I'd love to cover what you want. Okay, because I know you guys are regularly joining my training. Thanks, you all.